Okay, let's get right into it. Deploying Microsoft 365 Copilot, it's not just about handing your team a shiny new productivity tool. When you finally flip that switch, you are placing a highly capable AI layer directly over your entire organization's data. That is the true scale of what we're dealing with here. Welcome to this explainer. Today we're unpacking the exact blueprint for securing and rolling out Copilot, and we're basing this entirely on proven enterprise deployments.
Now listen to this closely because it's absolutely crucial. Copilot does not apply judgment. It operates within your existing permissions. When AI is involved, unintentional data access is exactly as dangerous as intentional access. If a user can technically view a document, Copilot can summarize it, interpret it, and pull it right into a chat. The AI simply doesn't know the difference between content you should see and content you just accidentally have access to.
Okay, let's dive into this. We're going to walk through a definitive 6-step blueprint to make sure your deployment is secure and, actually successful. We'll do a reality check on your data, run through the strict technical prerequisites, fix the massive oversharing problem, lock things down with Microsoft Purview, map out a phased rollout, and finally, measure the actual business impact.
Step 1. The Copilot reality check.
For IT teams out there who think their current data governance is, good enough for an AI rollout, consider this your ultimate wake-up call. Copilot doesn't just search like a standard tool. It uses the Microsoft Graph to map the relationships between every file, chat, meeting, and email your users can access. And this brilliantly illustrates how it pulls from all of this inherited, interconnected content in real time to build its responses. It's a massive, complex web of data, and Copilot is sitting right at the center, reading every single thread.
So we really have to contrast what we assume people can see against Copilot's actual reality. Look, we all want that massive ROI that comes with AI productivity, right? But there's a massive risk if your environment has hidden permissions. We're talking about legacy everyone groups or orphan SharePoint sites. Suddenly, Copilot could expose executive compensation plans, unannounced merger details, or even sensitive HR investigations. And why? Simply because a folder permission was misconfigured 5 years ago.
Step 2. Mandatory technical prerequisites.
The mandatory checklist here is strict. You need E3 or E5-based licenses, active Microsoft Entra ID, and network endpoints optimized with WebSockets, browser compatibility, and TLS 1.2 or higher. Crucially, and you can't skip this, Copilot requires Exchange Online mailboxes for every single user to ground its AI. On-prem simply will not work. You also need a plan for extensibility. If you're going to use plugins to connect external APIs or servers, you'll need descriptive manifests configured to optimize exactly how Copilot orchestrates those plugins.
Step 3. Fixing the oversharing problem. I want to be crystal clear about this. Oversharing is not an AI problem. It's a fundamental permission hygiene problem that AI just happens to expose at light speed. We are dealing with years of organic collaboration and, frankly, rushed sharing decisions. You've got legacy everyone except external users permissions. You've got unrestricted anyone links floating around out there. You have unmanaged sprawling SharePoint sites and users sharing sensitive docs way too broadly from their personal OneDrives. Because of all this, Copilot can process far more content than you ever intended.
So the crucial point is that we must enforce a principle of least privilege before deploying anything. Here are the concrete remediation steps. First, map your current exposure using the SharePoint Admin Center. Second, aggressively revoke those old or unused anyone links. Third, change your tenant's default sharing links to specific people only. And fourth, enforce expiration dates for external shares. Basically, you have to clean the house before you invite the AI in.
Step 4. Microsoft Purview and monitoring.
Now, cleaning up permissions is a great start, but Purview is your active shield. First up, sensitivity labels. These actually block Copilot from extracting highly confidential data. Second, data loss prevention, or DLP policies. These are absolutely critical to defend against advanced threats like indirect prompt injection or data smuggling, which is where malicious external documents try to hijack your AI prompts. Third, insider risk management helps detect vulnerabilities like echo leak, where sensitive data might be inadvertently echoed back to unauthorized users.
Drilling down into the monitoring side of things, you need audit logging enabled from day one with at least a 1-year retention policy. Trust me, if you have thousands of users, you will eventually face a compliance review or an internal investigation, and you're going to need that trail. You should also utilize endpoint DLP monitoring. This can literally block users from pasting credit card numbers or sensitive data right into AI prompts. And definitely use machine learning to flag insider risks automatically.
Step 5. The phased rollout path. Let's move to and see how this builds. We're shifting from strict security to strategic enablement. Let me save you a massive headache right now. A big bang, company-wide rollout on day one is a total recipe for failure. Don't do it. You want to start with a pilot phase between weeks 9 and 16, targeting about 300 to 500 users across different roles who are doing real work. You use their feedback to identify friction and tweak your training. Then, in months 4 through 9, you move to a broad rollout, expanding in waves by department. Finally, month 7 and beyond, you shift into the operate phase. That's all about continuous governance and monitoring.
As you scale this up, keep this core concept in mind. Treat each department as its own mini organization. Marketing uses Copilot totally differently than finance does, right? And finance uses it differently than HR. So you need to identify and actually train internal champions within these departments to scale your success. Tailor your enablement resources, jumpstart your communications, and build use cases specifically for the departments you're rolling out to, especially those departments with lower usage intensity.
Finally, step 6, measuring business impact.
We have to connect all this intense technical governance back to massive business outcomes. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that number, 4 to 8. That is the number of hours saved per week by enterprise knowledge workers using Copilot. To actually prove this ROI, though, you must track this progress utilizing the Copilot Business Impact Report and Viva Insights dashboards. That lets you see exactly where the AI is driving revenue, cutting costs, and speeding up turnarounds.
I'm going to leave you with this final, somewhat provocative thought. Your Microsoft 365 Copilot deployment is not an IT installation. It is a security audit first. You have the blueprint now. The only question left to answer before you flip that switch is this: is your data secure enough for AI? Take the time, do the audit, fix the permissions, and make absolutely sure your foundation is rock solid.